Today you'll hear from two folks. One of them is myself. My name is Allie Dirks. I am the Online Enrollment Initiatives Manager, and I work with online learning related to getting students started, getting through the application, their financial aid, anything they need to just start their first semester. And I'm here with Dr. Alex Fayman. He's the Chair of Finance. He will be discussing the fun points of the program, what's really unique about banking, what we have to offer as an institution. So I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Alex Fayman to discuss more about the Bachelor's of Science in Banking.
So it's kind of like the first point that I want to make about why a banking degree is worthwhile. You can actually get a PhD in corporate finance, which covers any kind of business, all of them lumped together. But for banking, there's a special degree. Banking is different. For example, if any other company takes on a loan, that loan becomes a liability, something that a bank has to, something that a company has to repay. So like the whole thing is flip-flop, because loans is how banks make money. So for banks, loans are assets. So it's like a whole different kind of animal, and that's why there's a separate discipline within finance about banking. I've taught banking classes for the past 17, 18 years. I actively publish in peer-reviewed banking journals. So because of everything I just said, I should be able to evaluate current, pertinent, and material that would be considered effective, material things that you should know if you are trying to get a degree in banking. But probably without a bachelor's, it will be difficult for you to advance in the institutions. So think about the possibility of earning a bachelor's degree in banking as you're working in a financial institution, in a bank. That ceiling that you have above your head that you can't advance suddenly becomes your floor because you have a bachelor's in banking. And you can build on that, and you can now climb up that corporate ladder within your financial institution and advance into the possibilities essentially become limitless, as well as your ability to earn money. Banks, without well-functioning banking system, we really won't have an economy in this country. So the banks are the conduit for everything you see happen, for all business. So you cannot have a healthy economy when your banking industry is struggling. So banking industry will always have to be there in some form to support the support U.S. economy. On top of it, our institution, MSU Denver School of Business, is ACSB accredited, which is like the top 5% of colleges of business in the world get this accreditation. That means that the school has good instructors that do research, who are current in their fields, and that you are getting a good education there. So the bachelor's in banking is 120 credits. What's interesting about our program is that we have these things called prior learning assessments, PLAs. And these PLAs can help if you are somebody who already in the world of business, if you've been working in a bank for the last 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, whatever, and you have some knowledge that you have accumulated over your time there, we have an ability for you to essentially bypass some of the coursework that you would have to do. For example, there are seven courses, including, you can see here, intro to banking, money and banking, personal selling, things that you might be doing every day in your job anyway for years, that you can essentially test out of. So a PLA is an exam that you would take at MSU Denver, and then you would not have to take those courses. And that would cover, those PLAs would cover 21 out of the 120 credits that you need to take. That would leave you down with 99. Then there's 10 additional PLAs that you can earn via these CLEP, College Level Examination Program exams. There's a cost to these exams. They're nationally available. You can take these exams at home, and you can essentially test out of 9 more courses. On all these other things on top of the things that I've mentioned before, the big thing is that it's 100% online. Like if you are a working mother or a working father and you have so many things to do, so many responsibilities, you can do this degree. You don't have to be in a classroom at 2 p.m., and be listening to an instructor, because at 2 p.m. you got to earn a living and support your family. So this program can accommodate you because you can do it on your own time. There are 2 additional concentrations which you might want to look into. So you could just get a bachelor's in banking and be done with it. Or you can actually choose one of these 2 concentrations. And both of the concentrations are, to be honest with you, are pretty, and I'm not like trying to sell, like this is what I normally would tell my students, because I want my students to succeed in life. So the excitement you hear right now is not because there's cha-ching money coming into my pocket because you sign up for the program. The excitement is because this is potentially life-changing. More and more machines are performing like, those teller type roles in banks, so machines have been replacing slowly, the people that say hello and greet you at the banks. You've probably seen a lot of banks out there that don't even have humans in the bank anymore. I think that is another reason why you should want to get a bachelor's in banking, because even if it's easier to replace those lower level positions inside of a bank, it would be a lot harder to replace these folks that you see here at the top, where I have bank managers, credit analysts, loan officers, compliance officers, financial examiners. These types of jobs are, they're more difficult to replace with technology than, like, let's say, a position of a teller. What I want to show you with this number is that in reality, with this degree, that 72, the range, it could be fantastically big. I mean, if you get really good at financial analysis, if you become a credit analyst, these folks can potentially make 6 figures and more. And so, like going back to what I told you at the beginning of the presentation, is that the ceiling here is potentially going to be very high. So, and that's what I want you to keep in mind. Like, that looks like a very nice number, but if you get the right education and you do the right things and work hard, and obviously with a little bit of luck, it doesn't hurt anyone, those numbers could be potentially even larger.